Back, problem 14, section 1.5. Limit x approaching 4 from the right hand side of the fraction 8 over x minus 4. Okay, so some of these you, I'm sure, already know how to graph using techniques you learnt in Math 30, okay, or any pre-calculus class. They teach you these things. So for example, this particular one, let's see how it goes. Y equals 1 over x. That is the graph of y equals 1 over x. What happens to 8 over x? This is a vertical scaling because you're multiplying this by 8. So it looks the same, but it is simply scaled up. It is a steeper growth. Okay. Now what we want is 8 over x minus 4. So you want to shift on the x-axis. When you subtract from 4, you shift to the right. So at 4, the graph above 8 over x is shifted right, and that is your graph. All right. So I have used the graphing package from this Matcha using somewhere here. There you go. Function plot. So that is this. So here is 4, and that is the graph of 8 over x minus 4. Okay, close to what we just did. So the question is, what happens when x approaches 4 from the right? So when you approach 4 from the right, you're looking at the top branch. It's going to positive infinity. Okay, so it is infinity. All right, next one. Notice it is similar, 9 over x minus 4. So now I will simply use the plotting feature because now you know how it's drawn by hand. It's simply shifting problem, but I'll use the function plot. The function is 9 over x minus 4. Okay, so let's okay this, move this a bit here. So this is your graph, y equals fraction, whoops, math mode, y equals a fraction 9 over x minus 4. Okay, so where is this going to infinity? It's over here, so that is a 4 over there. All right, so somewhere there is a 4. Now the question here is from the left of 4. 4 is here, the left branch goes to negative infinity. All right, next one. Now this is a little more complicated. I'm sure you have learned techniques of how to graph this in pre-calculus, but I'm not going to spend time on materials from pre-calculus. So let me graph it using our technology here. So this is a numerator over denominator. Numerator is 7 minus x. Denominator is x minus 1 quantity squared. Okay. So if you notice, it's going up at some point. Where do you think it is going up? So denominator is so denominator gives me a 0 when x is 1. That is, the function is undefined when x is 1. So if you notice, we are unable to see if you try to zoom too much, but the fact is you will notice it's somewhere here. So x equals 1 is the vertical asymptote. Okay, so let me choose this, zoom in a little bit so we have some feel for it. So if that is 10, that's 5. So somewhere here is going to be a 1. Okay, So all right, so that is, question is, when x is approaching 1, what happens to this? When x approaches 1, from the right you're going to positive infinity, from the left you're going to positive infinity. So answer is infinity. Next question, cosecant. Okay, cosecant. This is a trigonometric function. So if you remember, cosecant is 1 over sine. So let's remember how sine looks like. So sine graph looks something like this, right? Starts at 0, goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. And where is it that it hits x-axis? At 0 and at pi, and then at 2 pi, and so on. So this is sine. All right. So this is sine of x. So what do we expect will happen for cosecant? At 0 and pi, it's going to go to infinity, right? So let me make it in red so as to distinguish. Y equals cosecant x. So you see, wherever sine hit 0, you're going to go to either a positive or a negative infinity. So because this is positive, cosecant goes to positive infinity there. Here, because sine is positive, cosecant goes to positive infinity there. Whereas here, because sine is negative, cosecant goes to negative infinity here. Yeah, you see, because cosecant is 1 over sine. So when sine is 0, cosecant goes to infinity, but if sine is positive, cosecant is positive. Sine is negative, cosecant is negative. So that's why this bump converts to a positive growth there, and this dip below 0 gives a negative. So what's the question? Let's go back to the question. Pi going from the right hand side. So pi is over here. Cosecant branch to the right of pi goes to negative infinity. All right. So next video I'll continue.